All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Number 17, 1932. Giving it 1 out of 5 stars. I hated this flick. This is going to be another lame Alfred Hitchcock attempt at humor. Number 17 is the 1932 British comedy thriller film directed by Alfred Hitchcock and starring Jon Stewart, Anne Gray, and Leon M. Lyon. The film, which is based on the 1925 burlesque stage play Number 17, written by Joseph Jefferson Farjeon, concerns a group of criminals who commit a jewel robbery, and they hide their loot in an old house over a railway leading to the English Channel. The film's title is derived from the house's street number. A great play, a great novel, a greater film. J. Jefferson Farjeon's thriller and successful West End play. An Alfred Hitchcock production. Coming soon, watch for it. All right. So this one was produced by Alfred Hitchcock. Oh, Associated British Picture Corporation. All right. One of the title mosaics celebrating local boy Alfred Hitchcock in the subway at Leytonstone Tube Station. Pretty cool looking Alfred Hitchcock mosaic inside one of the London subways, I guess. Along a coastline in rural England, police detective Barton arrives at house number 17, marked for sale or rent. The door is unlocked, and he wanders in. An unknown person with a candle is wandering about, and a dead body is found. When confronted, the mysterious person claims innocence of the murder. Barton, who introduces himself as Fordyce, asks the stranger about the contents of his pockets before the shadow of a hand is shown reaching for a doorknob. The stranger, who later introduces himself as Ben, is a homeless derelict, searches the dead body, and he finds handcuffs and a pistol, which he takes. And he calls everybody governor. Hey, governor. All right, production company Associated British Picture Corporation, distributed by Warder Films. Release date July 18th, 1932 in London. Running time 64 minutes. Country UK. Language English. The detective returns from investigating weird sounds. The detective finds the handcuffs that the stranger had left on the ground. A woman called Miss Ackroyd is seen through shadows crawling on the roof. After falling through the roof, she is revived, and she cries out for her father. She explains that her father is on the roof and that they are next door in number 15. The bell tolls midnight. And the dead body has disappeared. 3 people arrived at the windswept house. Brant Nora, a deaf-mute woman, and a third person named Henry Doyle. Ben produces a pistol, and Ben accidentally shoots Barton Fordyce in the arm. Brant produces a pistol of his own, and Brant asks Doyle to search Barton Fordyce. Ben and Miss Rose Ackroyd A telegram is revealed to Grant. A man named Sheldrake shows up and he retrieves a diamond necklace which he has hidden in the upper portion of a toilet. Ben causes commotion, and Ben is locked away with Sheldrake in the toilet. Sheldrake reaches out. Sheldrake appears to strangle Ben, who is only feigning unconsciousness. The supposed corpse turns out to be alive. The supposed corpse pretends to be Sheldrake in order to fool the thieves. He is, in fact, Rose's missing father. A police officer, Brandt, suggests binding Rose and Barton Fordyce. Officer Ackroyd manages to lock away the three thieves. Officer Ackroyd frees his daughter and Barton. He opens the door behind which Ben is locked away with Sheldrake, and he engages in a fist fight with Sheldrake. Sheldrake wins the fist fight. Sheldrake frees Brandt, Doyle, and Nora. Rosa and Barton Fordyce are bound again. Nora reveals that she is able to speak, and Nora says, "I'm coming back." She returns and she frees Rose and Barton after they're dangling from the banister. Rose faints, but Rose recovers. Nora returns to the basement to allay the suspicions of the other thieves and to buy time for the rest to escape. They flee Ben and Ackroyd. They free Ben and Ackroyd. The thieves arrive at the rail yard and they board a departing freight train bound for German states. The train departs with Ben aboard, and he stumbles into crates of wine to consume. The thieves, after dispatching the conductor, walk to the front of the train. They shoot the firemen and they catch the driver as he faints. Barton, who failed to board the train before it departed, Barton commandeers a bus and Barton chases after the train. Ben is relieved to have the necklace. Sheldrake discovers this, and the thieves fight each other. Sheldrake claims that Doyle is, in fact, a detective posing as a thief. A chase scene occurs on the train as the thieves go after Doyle, who escapes, and Doyle later handcuffs Nora. Barton's bus races after the train. The thieves, realizing that the train is accelerating, try to find the brakes. They operate controls helplessly, and they notice Barton Fordyce's bus. Despite the thieves' efforts, the train only accelerates, leaving them unable to escape. At the dock, the ferry arrives. As Barton watches, the train hurtles through the deck, crashes into the train on the ferry at full speed, and pushes it out to sea, dragging the remaining cars into the ocean. People are rescued from the water, possibly due to being drunk. Ben is among the last to be rescued. Doyle tells Barton Fordyce that he is Detective Barton, but Fordyce, who is the real Barton, reveals to Doyle that he's made a couple of mistakes. First, the cops weren't just after the necklace, they were after Sheldrake. They knew that the necklace would draw Sheldrake out, and hence that Sheldrake would surely draw Doyle out. Second, Doyle was foolish enough to impersonate a detective, and Barton, of all detectives. The comic part of it is, Barton says in conclusion, "I'm Barton." All the thieves except Nora are apprehended by the police. And that's number 17. And nobody's in the chat room. How many people were in the chat room yesterday? 24? Hitchcock returned to England from a trip to the Caribbean with a new idea for a film. He told John Maxwell about it, but Maxwell said that Walter C. Mycroft had a different project for Hitchcock, a film version of Joseph Forgion's play number 17, which had already been filmed. Hitchcock was unhappy with the project, as he considered the story to be riddled with cliches. He instead wished to film a version of John Van Drutsen's play London Wall. Director Thomas Bentley, who directed the 1932 film adaptation of London Wall titled After Office Hours, had wished to direct number 17. Hitchcock was assigned writer Rodney Ackland for the film, which was intended as a comedy-oriented thriller, although the opening credits confirmed the picture's title as number 17. Much of the promotional material and many modern-day film databases refer to the film as number 17, which was its American release title. In the 1966 book Hitchcock Truffaut, Hitchcock called the film a disaster. So there you have it, from the horse's mouth. Mouth. The film makes extensive use of miniature sets, including a model train, bus, and ferry, and all the special effects look fake. This is one of the few Hitchcock thrillers that Hitchcock himself doesn't have a cameo in. Many critics who may be unfamiliar with the film's comedy origins have judged number 17 as a failed attempt at serious drama. A reviewer for Variety wrote in August 1932, like the play, the story is vague and, despite its intended eeriness, unconvincing. It is asking a lot of an audience, even a picture one, to make them believe a woman accomplice of a band of thieves will fall in love at first sight with a detective, and she prevents his being done in by her associates. The review observes that the climactic train crash was very good, but not sufficient to make it anything but a program feature. Upon the film's initial release, some audience members reacted to number 17 with confusion and disappointment. In the 1966 book Hitchcock Truffaut, Francois Truffaut offered a similar verdict, telling Hitchcock that he found the film quite funny, but the story was rather confusing. Number 17 continues to garner generally negative reviews. The critical consensus published by review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes calls the film highly entertaining but practically incomprehensible and an unsatisfactory early tongue-in-cheek comedy suspense yarn. Okay, the homeless guy was funny at the end. I have to admit, I got a giggle from him. But the rest of the movie is just, when is this over? Number 17 is copyrighted worldwide, but it has been widely bootlegged on home video. However, various licensed restored releases have appeared on DVD disc and video on demand services. On December 7, 2021, the film was released on Blu-ray disc in the US by Kino Lorber. Number 17, 1932, TVPG, 6 minutes. It's a mediocre 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 5,800 ratings. A gang of thieves gather at a safe house following a robbery, but a detective is on their trail. And Gray is looking good. All right. Here's a featured review on IMDb from B. Kogan Bing. B. Kogan Bing gives it a much higher 4 out of 10. The title of B. Kogan Bing's review on IMDb is called Models in Hitch's High Speed Climax. And while I'm waiting for that, I'll go down the pike since Karate Man is bugging me. All right, first up is The Man Who Knew Too Much, 1934. The Warm, Warm Bed, 1968. And Scarlet Street, 1945. So it'll be number 7? No, number 6 when I get to Death Warrant. 1990. Kyrie eleison. Here we go. Models in Hitch's High Speed Climax. During his apprentice years as a director, Alfred Hitchcock took all kinds of assignments, many times directing items that originate on the stage, like Juno and the Paycock. Number 17 got an increase of 10 in the title. It was originally a play written by Joseph Jefferson Vargion, and when it got to Broadway in 1926, it ran for about a month with a cast you probably not know. The play itself, and my screen goes black. The play itself takes place only in the bandit house where various folks congregate on a dark night. Several are jewel robbers. One is a detective. Just who is who is not really fully revealed until the end. Hitchcock really liked trains. He did much better with them in The Lady Vanishes, and even better than that in North by Northwest. The British film industry was a lot poorer than the US one, but the fact he's using model electric trains in his high-speed climax is rather obvious. Yeah, no kidding. It had to be the most fake train crash I've ever seen. With the exception of Barry Jones, played the off-balance nuclear scientist in 7 Days to Noon, no one in the cast will be any kind of familiar to the U.S. audience. I have not seen 7 Days to Noon, so I don't know any of these actors. The story, which is always essential to me, is really hard to follow. You might take 1 or 2 viewings, and you still might not get it all right. I was confused by the different characters, what their names were, what their titles were. It kept changing all the time, and it was very confusing. All right, shall we continue with number 17? More like this, The Skin Game, Alfred Hitchcock. Rich and Strange, another Alfred Hitchcock. The Ring, some kind of boxing film. And The Mannix Man. Although this film was a box office failure in 1932, it later had admirers. One of them was the movie historian William K. Everson. In an Everson and Sir Alfred Hitchcock interview in 1972, Everson showed his admiration for the movie and also praised the bus and train chase scene. Hitchcock was delighted by Everson's enthusiasm and went on to explain how one of the sequences in the bus and the train chase scene was shot. Barton and Nora's hands are tied to the railing behind them, but after they fall backward through it, they're hanging with their hands in front of them. Quotes by Ben. Will you see me safely home, Governor? If it gives you a nice wedding present, eh? Will you see me safely home, Governor? If I gives you a nice wedding present, eh? That was a funny scene. Featured in Elstree Story, 1952. Soundtracks, I Don't Need a Television. Music by Harry Shalson. Lyrics by John Malvern. Release dates November 7th, 1942 in the UK. Country of origin UK. Language English, also known as number 17, spelled NO17. Filming locations Elstree, Hertfordshire, England, and UK. Production company British International Pictures, also known as BIP. I'm presuming that's an Alfred Hitchcock outfit. Runtime 1 hour 6 minutes. Color black and white. Sound mix mono. Aspect ratio 1.20 to 1. All right. Avenger 6 says, hey man, how goes it? David Huckabee, hi there. Can you give some more thoughts on the Gay Deceivers movie? Please, really interesting what you had to say about this film. Do you have any film recommendations for someone just getting into watching movies? Sure, I recommend Fortress, Seconds. What else? The Abominable Dr. Fives, Theater Blood. Yes, start with those. Start with Seconds. I think it's 1965, and then Fortress. Brazil, Theater Blood, and The Abominable Dr. Fives. The Place Behind the Pines, Eraserhead. Gay Deceivers. Have I reviewed that? I may have already seen that one. Daniel Huckabee. But if I do have a review up on YouTube, I'll send you the link. I guess Mr. Huckabee is a new subscriber, and he's new to watching movies too. The Place Behind the Pines. Oh, The Place Beyond the Pines. see if I can pull up Gay Deceivers review. I'll put The Place Beyond the Pines on my list of movies to watch review. It's going to be way down there towards the 5,000 mark. In other words, 36 years from now, unless I die first. All right, Gay Deceivers. Come on. Let me type. Gay Deceivers. Yeah, I did. I reviewed it. It's right here. I'll send you the link, Daniel Huckabee. I had fried chicken in Santa Rosa. My Santa Rosa friend said he was going to cook for me. And he ended up taking me to Lucky Deli. And he said, wow, I look skinnier in this thumbnail. So it's going to be another movie. Sorry about that. I had the sound turned up. But here's the link. I streamed the movie review of The Gay Deceivers 2 years ago. It's got 46 views. And here's what I think of The Gay Deceivers. There you go. Here's my Gay Deceivers review. I'll add The Place Beyond the Pines if I can find it on any of the 3 major streaming services, namely YouTube, Tubi, or Amazon Prime. Those are the main 3 that I use. Occasionally, we do Vimeo? I can't remember. Anyways, that's the end of my review. 3 people in the chat room, thanks for joining. I'll give you my next 3, and I'll respond to the Karate Man comment probably tomorrow morning after I get some rest. I do have a lot of Karate Man stuff coming down the pike, but it doesn't start until number 6 on my movie list, so we're talking 2 weeks from now, potentially later.